At 3 a.m., my bedside drawer slid open by itself. I cracked an eye and saw my flatmate, silent, barefoot, bent over my nightstand, fishing for the tiny camera I'd hidden there to see if he'd come looking. Without turning, he said, almost conversationally, "I know you're awake." I'm Jamie, and last winter in Glasgow I shared a two-bed flat with a guy I barely knew. We'd found each other in a Facebook housing group. Cheap rent, opposite schedules, problem solved. I worked 9 to 5 at a print shop. He, Owen, did nights in a warehouse. For months we passed like ghosts. His door shut when I left for work, my lights off when he headed out. We'd exchange a nod in the kitchen twice a week, and that was it. Exactly what I wanted. Then the small things started. One Thursday I came home late and found my wardrobe door yawning open. I always shut it. I shut it again and wrote it off. A few days later, my desk chair was angled toward my bed as if someone had sat there and watched. I told myself I'd done it without noticing. Saturday, I was cleaning, wiping shelves, chasing dust bunnies, when I looked up into the corner where the wall meets the ceiling. A tiny, glossy black dot stared back. My brain offered, nailhead. My gut said, lens. I climbed on the chair. Up close, there was no pretending. A wireless pinhole camera, stuck to the plaster with a square of double-sided tape, pointed straight at my bed. It had a slot for a micro SD card that was now empty. My hands shook as I peeled it off. I stood there holding it, thinking of every night I'd slept, changed, been intimate in that room. Only one other person had keys to the flat. Owen was at work. I stared at his door until my heartbeat hurt. Curiosity beat caution. I turned his handle and eased it open. The smell hit me first. Damp takeaways and stale laundry, curtains nailed shut, unmade bed, a desk smothered in unopened post and loose coins, no obvious stash of cameras, no laptop humming with sick answers, just a mess. I backed out, closed the door, and sat on my bed with the camera in my palm like it might burn a hole. I decided to test him. I tucked the camera into my bedside drawer under a nest of socks and waited. If he came looking, I'd know. 2 nights passed, nothing. I started to feel stupid for spinning myself up. On the 3rd night, I woke to the soft rasp of wood on wood. My drawer. I slit one eye. In the dim streetlight, bleeding through the curtains, I saw a silhouette at my nightstand. Owen. He was rifling the drawer where I'd hidden the camera. My heart hammered so hard he had to hear it. He froze, then slowly turned his head toward me. "I know you're awake," he said quietly. "What did you do with it?" Fear snapped to anger. I sat up. "Why was there a camera in my room?" He held my gaze, face unreadable. "Because I think you've been nicking my stuff." "That's ridiculous," I said. "And you pointed it at my bed. Do you hear yourself?" "I needed proof," he said. "You're overreacting." I swung my legs out of bed. "I'm telling the landlord and the police." "We can sort it," he said, hand lifting like I was the one being unreasonable. "Stay out of my room." I yanked the drawer, grabbed the camera, and shouldered past him into the kitchen. I flipped the bin lid and dropped it in like a grenade, half expecting the crack of something breaking to make it feel finished. Owen stood in the hall, fists clenched at his sides, face blank as a wall. He didn't say another word. He turned and went back to his room. His door clicked shut. I didn't sleep. I sat on the sofa with the TV on low and waited for the dark to end. Every pipe creak made me jump. When the first gray sliver of morning edged the blinds, I checked the bin. The camera was gone. A week has passed. I told our letting agent everything. She said she'd look into it. That Owen still lives here. We don't speak. When we pass in the corridor, he gives me a flat, patient look that says he's waiting for me to make the next move. I don't know why he put it there. The theft story is a lie. I don't know what he wanted to capture or what he planned to do with it, and I don't want to know. At night, I scan the corners and the smoke detector and the picture frames anyway. I've pulled half the room apart and found nothing else, but the thought keeps chewing. What if I missed one? Last night, I stayed up late. Footsteps came down the hall and stopped outside my door. Silence, but for the floorboard easing under a man's weight. He stood there for a long minute, the way a lurker measures a lock, and then his steps moved away. I'm looking for a new place. I'm asking a solicitor what it takes to press an invasion of privacy claim with no photos, no recordings, no messages, just a confrontation at 3 a.m. and a camera I shouldn't have binned. Maybe it goes nowhere. Maybe it doesn't. Either way, I'm not staying.